Hello and welcome to Boring Dad Gaming, where we're going to be starting our campaign for Cybernight's Flashpoint. Thanks to those who replied to my previous video and volunteered to be part of the Heist squad. We've very quickly filled up our starting squad and already have a reserve on the bench ready for when I can recruit new mercs. So we're going to dive in and start a new game. By the 23rd century, there are only 112 cities left. Oh, I've got to press space. It's been 40 years since the eco collapse, 70 since we Q-bombed the last artificial consciousness to death. Now world storms have settled to a record low, and they tell us that peak nano fallout has passed. They say things will get better now, but who believes anything that comes from the megacorps? Anyone who can hope to afford a better life off-world is trying to get on an orbital or out to the colonies. That's why we're all here, working the shadows as mercenaries. We want something better too. We're just street-level operators, but not for much longer. You're about to get a Cybernight's computer spliced into your spine. It's illegal. It's dangerous. It will change everything. The megacorps created Cybernight's as the first quantum-secure data couriers. Soon, the corps adapted their cybernetic implants to fight their quiet wars of espionage, sabotage, and murder. These upgraded Cybernight Quantum Riders offered unparalleled processing, coordination, and Q warfare capabilities. But after a few decades, hundreds of knights had deserted or gone rogue. The corps outlawed their kind and started hunting them. Surviving knights became the world's elite shadow operators for hire. You're about to get one of those implants. We're about to step up into a whole new game. If we build the right team and back the right power players, we could earn enough to buy a reset for the rest of our lives, Chopper. It won't be easy. Who knows what we might get mixed up in. Probably secrets the syndicates or megacorps would kill for. But this is our chance. Let's do this. Okay, so this is going to be my character in the campaign, this titular Cyberknight. I'm just going to pause here while I kind of tinker with this a little bit and customize. Okay, so here we have Sir Boring Dad. He's going to lead the team. And this is my starting crew, who I'm going to customize. So Boring is me, obviously. Blur is kind of our fixer who stays at the base. They don't go on jobs, so I'm not going to customize her, really. But we have 4 classes. We've got a hacker, vanguard, soldier, and I think that's a sniper, isn't it? Now I've got 4 starting soldiers to customize, so we'll just take another quick break here while I go and do that. And here we are, let's meet our team. So there was a little bit of horse trading in terms of the classes because I didn't have free choice. I'll show you what I mean. So if I start here, basically you can choose a hacker for your hacker spot. You get like a sneak spot, so I could have chosen a Vanguard or an Agent X. Luckily we had one person say they wanted to be a Vanguard. The other 2 spots were a little bit trickier, because for our gunner, I could either have a soldier or a gunslinger. No one really was that keen on either of those, but there was one person, Mareki49, who said they would be happy to be anything that kind of filled it out. So I put them as the soldier, and then we had a sniper. So again in the sniper, this person... lion, did say they'd be either a cyber sword or a sniper. I don't know which way to go with this. I've gone with sniper because sniper is really useful, and the cyber sword kind of feels like doubling up a bit with like the main character. The reason I've gone with lion, so your characters get a nickname or a call sign after a mission or 2. I'm not sure how they decides to award it because I did a couple of missions and only one of my characters got awarded a call sign, which is basically what they'll be, or a code name, which is what they'll be called in mission. So just as like a kind of a starting position, I've made the first name what people were kind of suggesting ought to be their nickname or call sign. So as and when those kind of come up, I might amend those a bit so that they go ahead with their code name as the one suggested. But let's run through and meet our team. So as our hacker, we have Fig Bones. This was Cow Bones' character. So again, they asked for Fig or Alex. I've gone with Fig. Here is their character. So we've got a female. They said no or very short hair, so I went with no hair. We're looking a bit closer on the face. So there were no ear piercings, unfortunately. But there was nose and sort of lip piercings, so I've got, I don't know where those are now. Here, so you can have one of each. So I've kind of gone like a nose ring and a lip stud there. They asked for sort of a green and yellow or stroke gold colour scheme, which I've gone with, so hopefully that's okay. Now, no one really suggested anything along the lines of kind of any face tattoos or anything. Like, there are some that look pretty cool. I've kind of gone with nothing as the default, but you know, I can change these at any time within the campaign. So if any of these kind of catch your eye, let me know, and I'll try and incorporate those in a further video. So that's Fig, our hacker. We have our Whisper, who is our Vanguard. So they asked for like an edgelord with like a mainly black, but like a purple and red sort of tones. So we've gone with a bit of that. Look a bit like a superhero. They wanted red eyes like a Terminator. I couldn't make them glow, but I made them as red as I could. So I'm hoping that's hit the sort of edgelord brief for them. Then we have my character we've already met. Then we got Marcus, our soldier, who wanted to be. So I've made them as scrawny as I could. You can do the body type in here, and I've sort of brought them. You can make them like really big or really skinny. So we went with like the skinniest I could, nondescript, like a grey colour scheme we've done. They didn't specify a beret, but I thought it looked kind of cool as part of the overall outfit. So that's what I've gone with. And then we have. I might have to change Lion. I think Lion works best as the nickname, but let's go with that as the surname for now. They'll eventually get Lion as the call sign. So yeah, they wanted like a dark blue, dark green sort of colour scheme, which I've gone for. Just looking at the briefing which I printed out. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. I've kind of gone with like a little beanie hat for a sniper and like kind of the goggles stroke shades there just to kind of round off the look. But this is our initial team. Why don't we go and jump in? So I don't want to start with the tutorial because I have done it. Oh, here we go. So I can untick tutorial. I don't need Safe House or Matrix tutorial because I've done all of those. Now on the difficulties front, you can go. It is quite adaptable. I think I'm going to start off at normal. I think it says you can adjust it during gameplay. You know, we'll play it by ear. We'll see if you know how it feels. If we're breezing through stuff, we might raise it. If we're dying a lot, we may not. Oh, here we go. Yes, some customization. So death mode. Mercs can die, but the knight can't, which is the boring dad character. Death res. This percentage is rolled for your characters, but not your enemies, to avoid permanent death if you reach 0 hit points and are already bleeding out. The character is opted out of dying permanently. Okay, well we'll leave it at the default 50% maybe. So I guess it's flip a coin to see if they survive or not if they get downed. Speed and timers. We'll leave that as it is. Power scaling. Matrix. Anything else? I leave all that as default. To be honest, it's nice that it's there to customize. Distances. Yeah, I don't know enough about how the game works to really play around with that stuff, I don't think. So it's recommended that you start off with this syndicate debts. So I'll just read the sort of briefing for this campaign. You and your crew pooled everything you had to convince a syndicate financier, Octane, to give you a loan and help you obtain a Cybernite spinal implant. You've bet all your lives on it because now you owe Octane a cool 2 million. And the D-Cartel Syndicate is famous for not playing nice if loan payments are missed. So let's start. Load times are nice and quick, I've noticed, which is really cool. So this is 3 days ago, so this is Blur. Are you sure you want to go through with this, boy? Well, the time for that has passed. We took the loan from the D-Cartel, signed it in blood. I know, it just seems right to ask one last time. We are moving all the pieces into place. Day of Cybernite's operation. So we're having this thing grafted onto our spine, basically. Dr. Ekman is at the Ultratech Org Clinic now. You're scheduled for the spinal surgery at midnight. The right bribes have been paid and the floor will be clear. No one will be watching. Blur, the quantum computer implant surgery kills people. If I don't... The team will clear the rooftop. Our hover truck exit is 3 AM sharp. Just listen to me. If I don't make it, don't wait around for the D cartel to frag you too. Try to get them to your people in Atlanta. You can tell that from her Atlanta accent she's a native. I'm not talking about it, but I won't leave them. You wouldn't. You're going to be on the rooftop at 3 AM. I guess you'll be strapped to a stretcher, so you won't have much to say. So shut up and take those meds exactly on schedule. You've got a big night coming up. Yeah, so we've skipped the tutorial section. You do get like an initial bit that kind of introduces some of the tactical mission elements, but we'll cover stuff as it happens. So we got Whisper. It's almost 3 AM. Anyone coming? We just reached the rooftop. The plan is right on schedule. Stay patient. Let's do this right. Your time to shine, Vanguard. Help those two get clear of the remaining patrols. Not sure what accent to do for Fig. I'm going to go with Australian. Sorry to cut in, but I'm running digital Overwatch here on the Ultratech Clinic's Matrix. Echo, make it quick. I don't know what happened, but something's just flipped. Encrypted traffic in and out of the clinic just went out tenfold, and the ICs are locking down the firewalls. Oh, then we've got trouble. You all heard that. This was looking like a nighttime stroll, but now we're on the clock. Get sharp. We stick to plan A. Boarding is coming to the rooftop. Plan A is Whisper. She'll lead, but if it ain't working, then we go loud. Okay, don't need the gameplay help. Whispers, anticipation, la la la. Use lure, blah blah blah. Silence, yeah. I know. I've done the tutorial. So, sort of talk over the basics quickly, but I'm not going to get too into the weeds with how stuff works initially. I don't want to like front load a lot of images. There's a lot of systems going on, but let's just try and sort of keep it fairly high level to begin with at least. So this is Whisper, our Vanguard, and there. So every turn you have an initiative order. It's like in D&D or other tabletop games, you know. So the number here in the top left, that's the initiative that this character rolled. I think there are attribute skills that can boost your initiative and traits and stuff that can do so. So I think it's a dice roll plus whatever modifiers they have. So Whisper's rolled a 19. They go first. Our other characters have rolled 18. There are some things we could do. We could yield Whisper's turn, which would mean that Marcus and Lion get a chance to go before Whisper's turn. I can delay their action, and you can do a combination of these. Basically, you take 10 off the initiative, so that Whisper would then go after the guards, or you can end the turn, which we're not going to do for obvious reasons. Now, I'm going to do... At the bottom, we've got our abilities. So you've got basic shoot, reload, take cover, and then you've got a bunch of character classes that vary between the different classes. So Whisper, as a Vanguard, has a jam kit. So for one action point, and we'll get to action points in a sec, you can disable a level 1 security device. That's things like this laser grid. It's things like security cameras. And that lasts until the end of the next turn. So it's not permanent, unfortunately. So you kind of don't want to do that too far in advance. Otherwise, you know, they'll come back online. Lure. So you can make a distraction that enemies will turn and go and investigate. Silence, so you can make no sound while moving. And then anticipation, which is you can sort of put this down and it will predict the movement of a particular enemy. We're going to do this guy, and we're going to see that his turn, he's going to move in this direction on patrol. He doesn't know we're here currently, but at the moment... You've got it. If you sort of mouse over him, you can see his view cone. So he is. He would see us if we were to move. So what else can we do? Well, we have 6 action points. We can see here. So for one action point, I could lure him, and I could potentially. So where's this guy? He's just looking there. I could. Say lure him this way. You've actually got like a little circle that shows the area of effect. If I lure him to look this way, I can maybe come up behind him, or maybe just come and take cover here, which I think I'm going to do. So he's turned now, which means that Whisper is now free to come here. So we can see movement. You left click saying I'm going to be heard, so I can switch to sneak, which means you don't travel as far. Like each dot of this line, if I just do something like that, each dot of this is an action point. Now if I switch to sneak, you can see there's more dots. So, but you don't move as far sneaking, but you don't make as much noise. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to switch to sneak so I won't be heard. And I'm not... Yeah, so we're going to snap to the wall, it's on. So we're going to take cover there. I'm not going to take this guy down. I don't have a lot of action points left. He has got 200 health. I have a shock mine. First enemy is debuffed with stunned, so they skip their turn. First enemy to enter its radius. Well, he's lured, isn't he? If I chuck that there... He's now going to go there. He'll tread on the mine on his turn and get knocked out. So let's do that. Let's place a shock mine down there. So this guy will get stunned when he goes to investigate the lure. So that's good. So I'm going to... we're out of action points, so I'm going to just end the turn. Next in the queue is Marcus, our soldier. This guy, we don't know quite what his intentions are. I think probably the best thing to do will just be to come and take cover here. Now he is sneaking. If I do that, it will say he'll be heard. So let's sneak, and we'll just come and sort of take cover behind this around this corner. I'm probably going to leave that there for their turn. So let's just end. Then Lion, our sniper. Let's. They're already set to sneak, so let's just follow up behind Marcus there. And I think we'll end our turn there. Now it's the enemy's turn. So which way is he going to turn? Okay, he's turned this way, which actually isn't too bad because this guy's going to get stunned. All right, now, so this is the AI which is going to ramp up like the alarm on the level. Lion was... what was Lion? I don't think Lion's spoken yet, actually. That's why I'm struggling to remember their voice. We got more company up here. We're going Scottish. So we've had a... they brought in someone else. They're currently unaware of us. It's Marcus's turn. We've got this guy here. He's stunned. I think honestly, maybe we'll shoot. We've got a 96% chance of hitting this guy. Let's do that. So he's got 33% armor. You can shred armor with attacks. I'm not quite sure. I think there's a percentage chance of it happening. Damn, we missed. Okay. There we go, he's down. So enemies have reported gunfire, but it would be him, and because we've killed him, it actually doesn't get permanently added. I'm assuming that was higher until he died. I didn't actually think to make a mental note of that. But that's pretty much it for Marcus. Lion, we don't need to sneak now. So as long as I've got a couple of AP left, I think what I'm going to do, and we're going to shoot this guy. We crit. Nice. Okay. So what I'm going to do now with Whisper, I'm going to deactivate this laser grid. Because in here we have lootable lockbox, which, is there not another one? Well, there was one in here. Maybe I'm misremembering. But yeah, we can loot that. And there's a couple of others in this level. There's one round here. And there's one here. There's another one there. I'm not going to go for that one yet. So if we do that, let's sprint to the locker. Sweet, as you approach and then you click on it. And we get some loot. We get a high explosive grenade and 1,000 credits. Very nice, we'll take that. Now I could go out this way, but I want to bring the Whisper round for this area, so they can deactivate that stuff. So let's bring Whisper over there. That's it for their turn. Now it says Marcus is hunted, which is interesting. I'm not sure hunted by who, because this guy's still unaware. He hasn't heard us. But he is going to come in here, I think, and he probably will spot the body. So I think we need to be ready to receive him, shall we say? So let's that. I might delay the Whisper's turn until after... So I keep calling them the Whisper, the Vanguard's turn. Whisper is the Vanguard. It's a great name for the class, though, the Whisper. Lion, I'm going to bring to this corner. And actually, let's give him his sniper. And... actually, I know from experience that the sniper rifle takes a massive hit if you're close in. And this guy, if he rounds that corner, is going to be close in. So I'm going to put his Overwatch on. And if this guy wanders into this area, he'll take a shot with his pistol. He actually didn't, which is interesting. So Whisper. Let's move there. We'll then turn. I haven't got Overwatch to put on the Vanguard class. He might just get shot in the head as he rounds. Blam. So that was a good shot. We've been spotted now, so there isn't really any reason to be stealthy. He's the only enemy on the level at this point. You can see there's a lot of yellow bars here because a corpse was discovered and he's been shot. But if we take him down fairly quickly, then that should be fine. So I'm actually just going to bring him in here. I'm going to switch to the pistol. He hasn't got much health left, so let's just... I can actually give him something called... So there is a mechanic at play called recoil. And basically if you move or shoot, you generate recoil, which makes your subsequent attacks less accurate. You can actually gain accuracy back by repeated attacks on the same target. But the soldier also has this thing called Iron Grip, where you can nullify up to 12 points of recoil. So now, if I aim at him, we've increased our chances of hitting him. It's still not huge, but it was enough. So I think I can bring Marcus into cover. We'll do that. We can crouch as a free action, so we'll do that. And that's his turn. So with Whisper, I think I'm going to sort of come up through the back here and aim to go to those... that locker over there. So we can get all the way there. Let's do that. Let's just run now. We're still at level 0 on the security level, which is kind of cool. I will still crouch down, because you never know, I suppose. In turn. And then we've got Lion. Now, if enemies come in, reinforcements, they'll come through this door, so I'm tempted to try and get a bit of a sniper position on them. Coming there would be good, I think. Right, I don't need to bother crouching because he's in full cover. Okay, so we've got Marcus. Because I know kind of what's going to happen in this level because I've played it before. So I'm going to bring him over this side. Lion. I guess we could reload this gun. I'm not going to bother with the Overwatch yet because there shouldn't be anyone coming in for quite a while at this stage, so let's just do that. We're going to come here and loot the locker. Another 1,000. Patient dossiers 1. So you can set these things that are like intel, you can sell them back at the safe house and get quite a lot of money, particularly if they're epic level like this. And another 10k. Okay, making a bit of cash here, which is nice. We're going to want to go towards this, but let's make sure that we're in cover. Okay, it's actually Whisper's turn now, so yeah, I'm going to come here. Jam that. Hang on, why is that not? Never mind. I wanna do this. I think I can. But let's move in and we'll do it next turn. I don't know why it's not happening now. And Marcus, we can bring into a little bit more into cover here. Let's do reloads on his weapons. That's alright for them. Lion, well, actually I don't know why I'm doing this, because we all need to assemble here. I guess there's not a huge need for them to do that right now, because Whisper's not here. Now, when you kill people, there's something called a body timer, and you get a certain number of turns. It's usually 2, but I have seen 4 turns before it gets noticed by the security system. And you've seen here it's added 2 to our tally, because probably this one got spotted, or it might have been... That one will get added on. And then we've got... Did we have someone else? Both the 3 other ones probably been added on by now. Okay, so Lion. And you know what? Let's just get you into the zone. Marcus, same. Now Whisper. So we want to... There we go. So we've powered that down. NBS Cube. Oh, supplies for a nanofab. So I haven't built one of these in like my test campaign. But you can build like a manufactory at your base. So it sounds like that's something that would be good for that. Now I want to get out of this zone before the laser grid comes back online, which I think it's probably about to do. What happened? Yeah. So these guys, I'm just going to delay their actions so Whisper can get towards the... He actually can't get in the extraction zone, but that's okay. These guys just end turn, so it's going to go up to level 1 now. The cameras have come on. But that's okay. We're just going to delay your turns. Once we get Whisper in here, things are going to kick off a little bit more. Not good, not good. Spit it out, Fig. We've got Ultratech military-grade encrypted comms piping in. A bird is coming down on the rooftop. It is a fragging Ultratech response team. By hell we made. Someone talked. Get down, here they come. We're going to plan B here. Boring and I are heading to the basement and we'll take the cargo truck out of the building. We'll just go quietly back the way we came. They've interfaced with the building security. Yeah, so we can't go back the way we were. We actually could get in from this way, but anyway. The rooftop's on lockdown and the elevator gates are closed. Working on it. I've got something. Schematics show an old panel on the second rooftop elevator. So this is our new target to get to. It's an old TX-80 interface. Oh, that's older than I am. Ancient enough that we can spoof the protocol. They've wisely disconnected it from the network, so you'll have to get close enough to tap the trunk line and relay the signal to me. On our way now. Those birdmen spread out really fast. Alright, so these guys have actually kind of teleported around the level, including one right by that locker. They don't know we're here. That won't last, but we've got to use it to our advantage while we can. Okay, so we've got a bit of stealth time. Need to get towards the elevator. That should be okay. Alright, so it's Whisper's turn. We need to get away from these guys, I think. I'm actually going to put an anticipation down. Sure, we'll apply it to him. So he is going to patrol this way, although it looks like he's going to hit this point and then head back that way. So I think we're probably okay. Now it's not saying we're being spotted, and this guy can't look as far as this, so I think I might move Whisper over this far. We can crouch. I don't know if it makes them less likely to be seen, but I think it's only counts because if you can see here, like the red areas is where they would see anything, and the sort of gold areas, if they're crouching down, I think because the half cover kind of restricts the view a little bit. But I don't think there's nothing there to block that, I wouldn't think. Okay. Yeah, I think we want to just get it. Ooh, tell you what, Lion can move far. I will bring him all the way down here, actually. We will crouch down there. Now, a couple of soldiers are going to go before Marcus. Attempts to kind of come at it from this kind of angle. How far can Marcus get? He can get pretty far, actually. Can he get? He can get. He would be seen. Maybe here. I will crouch, you never know, might help. Okay. Did you see the UKF fight? They're just having a chat. They don't know why they're here. Yeah, so he's just going to go back and forth. So we're not doing too bad for the moment. I've got one more trick up my sleeve. I wasn't just sitting on my hands while you were all prepped for this hospital run. I did some poking around in case things got hot. He's officially heating up. What do you have? The Ultratech team has locked the network down pretty hard, but I've got my claws into security relay nodes still. So I can route their SenseNet traffic to a dead end for a minute before they shut me down. If you ever dust up with the Ultratech TAC response, I can keep it off the SEC AI's radar once. So this is another mechanic. When you're planning jobs, you can buy intel, you can also buy things called leverage and stuff. Basically, it's like a little bonus thing that you get once per mission. Calling in favors and stuff. Fig has one here, a blip leverage that lets us clear our potential security tally for one turn. So if we've done a lot of this, if people have spotted a lot of bodies and they've noticed gunfire, we can activate this leverage, and it will kind of clear that. But we don't have much of it right now, but it's there if we do need it. I think I might just let's just delay Whisper. Oh crap. He's going with there now. Do it at normal speed and crouch. We're just out of this guy's sight line at the moment. Can we actually hit him? We can hit him with a fairly good chance. Now this red ring, I assume, is the noise of the attack. So actually this guy isn't going to see it, but I tell you what, he's going to come in next turn. Unless we do something about that. Which one's he? He's... I'm not sure which one he is. They've taken the names away probably while I'm doing this. I'm going to go full auto as well. Can I go full auto? Well, not enough action points. Okay, well, let's just do the attack, because then we can finish up with Lion, whose turn it is next. So you can see we've got a lot of yellow pips, but I think if we can kill this guy, that those will go away. So if I... Yeah, 68 on that. If I switch to the pistol, he's got 90% on that. I'll tell you, it makes a lot of noise, though. Let's clear that. Let's get in a bit closer. If I shoot with it... Oh, this guy's still in the noise cone. It's only 60 now. I might bump this up. Oh, yeah, we got it. But they've reported gunfire, which isn't great. I'm going to line up there to try and get this thing. This guy's going to get alerted. That's probably not what I can do about that. I might be able to lure him away. If I was to do that, would he go this way? Yeah, he's actually going to go that way now. So let's live with that. I do need to sneak. Well, if we go this way, I can sort of get into cover. I think. Tell you, it doesn't look like cover. Now, it's not saying that he's heard. He can actually go silent as well. So let's just go for it. Now, because we've got all those yellow bars, I am actually going to use the leverage. So let's do that. So 4 of these should clear. There we go. So that's good. Let's end the turn. Now we have a little bit of grace time here to loot this locker. Bandages, Dazzler. Nano-sealed item can be decompressed later at the safe house's nanoforge. Okay, that's some cash. And then let's get back here. These guys can't see far enough. I'm gonna go there. Almost at the elevator. Whisper. We need to get someone in this zone, so I think we do that with Whisper now. I could probably just do it sneaking. So let's just do that. I'm here, but this equipment looks pretty hardened. I'm patched in now, just stay close to the TX-80, I'll show you what I can do. I hope you're not all talk, Fig. So someone needs to stay in this zone for a couple of turns. And we don't have anyone actually chasing us right now, so that could be okay. They're going to kind of converge on this point. They're going to notice the body at some point, maybe even now. But they don't know where we are, so I think we can... I'm going to kind of just stack up on this wall, I think. Whisper doesn't need to reload or anything, so that's fine. God. Don't turn. Okay, Lion is in a bit of a pickle here. He's going to have to sneak, but he can get all the way here. So let's do that. We're just going to hide in this corner, I think, while they're running around wondering who's shot this guy. We don't need to kill these guards, all we need to do is exfiltrate, which we're going to do. Now, we can get out now, which we're going to do. Is promised your exit?
I didn't think you were going to pull it off.
Whisper Dude has found newfound respect for Fig's technical support chops. So they've got a positive relationship for them. Now, I haven't got into the relationship stuff at all yet in like my little test, so we'll see how that works. But for now, let's all just creep onto the elevator. A couple of enemies will get to go before Lion. Hopefully that'll be okay, though. I think we'd be quite unlucky if they ran right up to where we were. Let's get out of here.
The elevator's engaging. We're out of here. You took that TX-80 out, Fig.
Boring has exited the building in the cargo truck. You all know your exits. Get to them. I want a strict 24-hour dust-off period. Don't you dare bring an Ultratech tail back to our safe house.
So we also stole some of the medical nano-stitch on the way out of the facility, so any injury time or wounds we may have suffered fighting have been immediately healed. We didn't actually get hit. In the future, know that taking more than 20% of your hit points in a single hit can require downtime to heal. Okay? But we'll be okay. Victory! Okay, so we didn't get any money for this. We did get some XP though. I think this is all... I don't know if it's shared or if it's everyone gets that. Either way, it'd be equal. We've got a couple of heat. We'll talk about what heat is. This is all the stuff that we looted. So let's just get to the safe house.
Everything is finally quiet. That was a mess, but you all did well. We got Boring out of there easily.
Are we in the clear?
For the moment we are. The safe house is operationally secure.
What's our next move?
We go dark and we wait. We're not doing anything until Boring is back on his feet.
How long will Boring take to recover?
Not as long as you might think.
They probably dumped a gallon of patch and stitch nano down there. Down in there. And you know he's flying high on all the meds.
They said a week back at the clinic. Even that grey stitch gun can't fix a spinal slice that fast.
Someone sold us out back at the old clinic.
There had to be a snitch. That Ultratech hit squad didn't find us on its own.
I'm not trying to sow distrust here. If it was one of you there, I'm sure we'd all be dead already.
Well, you're right about that. Otherwise their goons wouldn't have showed up so late or so underprepared. Someone was trying to make a light buck.
There has to be a trail, but we can't let Ultratech catch us sniffing around.
There are lots of ways we can be discreet. Every action is an echo in the Matrix. So we can now do things called legwork. These are missions that we send people out on the safe house. They take different amounts of time to complete. Different agents will have a different percentage chance of success based on their stats, I think. But we don't get to do them. They just once it's complete, they kind of return and we find out if they were successful or not. So we're going to do the legwork. Let's do that. So we're going to try and work out who sold us out. We're going to send Figs. Figs got a 75% chance of success, so that's good. She'll get some XP for this.
If we are careful, we might be able to pick up the snitch's trail without attracting more Ultratech attention.
I can bike around the old clinic. The call had to originate from within the building. I'll be very discreet. I don't want Boring to wake and hear that I'll mess this up.
You little digital footsies better tread lightly. I don't want an Ultratech hit squad knocking on the door.
Okay, so it's on our sort of timeline. Anyone who's played XCOM will kind of get the idea of the timeline, like the order in which things are going to happen while we're at the safe house.
What about our base?
We settled in this irradiated trash heap for a few good reasons. It is well hidden and there is room to expand. Once Boring is back on his feet and the quantum reactor is up and running, we can get enough quantum jamming and countermeasures in place to hide a sizable operation.
So it's time to start cleaning it out.
Our safe house is our base of operations, refuge, and the hub of all our team's operations. We'll need money and time to build it out, but the first step is to clean rooms and prepare for upgrades. Let's go.
No comms in or out. Now we wait. Except Fig, you've got work to do.
So you're at the shooting range then?
Running a heist team requires judicious planning. While you're waiting for Boring to recover, you can start preparing your mercenary base for the next phase by clearing out 2 rooms. Once you've scheduled those tasks, advance the timeline. La 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 la, that's all fine. So here we go. This is, if you played XCOM 2, you'll be quite familiar with this setup. It's like a little ant farm kind of thing. So at the top, we've got the 3 rooms we currently have available to us. We've got a barracks where our soldiers can level up, where we can customize them, swap loadouts in and out, sort of thing. We have the command room where we can plan missions and stuff. And we have what's called cold storage, which is where we're going to keep a lot of our data and stuff that we find. So we can sell this. I can actually sell this for 14k, this patient dossier. When this comes up and you get a variety of people you can sell to. Now, if you've played... Oh, God, this is another bit of a slight deep cut, but Solasta. In that game, there are different factions of merchants, and as you trade with each faction, your kind of level of friendliness with them increases, and as it increases, they'll sell better things to you, basically, higher tier items. So if we look at Potato here, we can see that he sells cyberdecks and programs. So when we're in our hacking mini game, you'll kind of see what that will do. So we want to get him on our side, so selling with him might be a good idea. We have Owen Bevan. Now, what does she do? She buys item blueprints, so I don't know. She may have other reasons that we'd want to trade with her. Or we have a doctor here who can sell us medical items and cybernetics. That could be a good one because he already sells stuff at rank 2. We might be able to rank her up if we trade with her enough. So let's sell to Dr. Ash here. It's 2k less, but 'tis what it is. So on our timeline, we have, in a day, we get a new conversation with Blur. Boring's going to come back in a couple of days, and it's going to be 3 days before Fig's finished her legwork. Up the top here, we've got a few things I've only just discovered in my playthrough. There's a market where we can go and you can buy stuff. So at the moment, we've got 56k available to us. We could buy a weapon, but it's going to cost us to clear out these rooms that the tutorial wants us to do. So let's do one of those. So let's do trashed room. It's going to take a week. It's going to cost us 6 grand. We're going to do that. Now, do I want to do this? The power usage, you get told, kind of expands out from this central lift shaft. So I think actually it might make sense to clean up the one on the other side of the elevator shaft. Not sure. What else do we have on this screen? So up here is our team power level. It's just kind of an indication of our fame. I don't know a lot more about it yet, really. It's just kind of how well we're doing. Now, heat, though, is something that has an effect. So as we do missions, we'll generate heat. Once you hit 25% heat, the security level on the missions we start will be escalated. But the heat does burn off 1% per day. So we just kind of need to manage this. And, we may want to lie low for a period of time if this gets high. Famous headhunters. We're not going to get into this yet, but I guess if you make a real pest of yourself, eventually they're going to send, elite units out to try and take us down. These things, I didn't really get these. I think it's something to do with when we're crafting items, which we currently don't have the capability to do. We do have 2 guys ready to train. It's actually Boring and Blur. So if we go into the training screen, or every unit will have this class training. So anything highlighted in yellow is a skill that we've already got. We can yes, once you're in the skill, you can modify. You can spend these unspent points to level this up. So at the moment, this advantage thing works within 25 meters. This would make it 35 meters, or this would increase the amount of initiative you give a teammate. I'm going to just come out of that for now. We've also got Look Ahead, which is a zone that we can put down that kind of does the same thing as that movement prediction thing that our Vanguard used in the last mission. Now we can do other things with that. I mean, it seems okay. This one is good, though. The security scramble, it's like the jamming thing that the Vanguard also did. Now I can increase decrease the turn cooldown, which I think probably is worth doing. Or I can, increase its range significantly. We can affect how long it actually knocks things out. So let's buy this. I want to get that used more frequently. Now I could train this so that actually this it'll knock things out for a couple of turns, which could be worth doing. Maybe I'll do that. All right, I'm going to come out of there now. And then we can also take these sort of minor nodes, which will actually give us different benefits. So strength and hit points, tech. I'm not sure if these are connected, because I know that tech does increase crit chance. So I don't know if that's on top of what tech would bring us anyway. I'm not quite sure. Strength, will, and crit chance. So I'm guessing that's additional. And reaction and initiative. Now you can probably go in and look at this stuff. I mean, I don't even know. It's very complicated to me. But I'm just going to take the stuff I like the look of, I think. So I'm going to take the reaction time and initiative. I'm also going to take the crit chance. So that's all my training now. Gain level 2. Yeah, so I'm done now with the training I could take. Let's go in and do the same with Blur. So she works a little bit differently in that she doesn't go out on missions. So her stuff, I don't really know. I don't know how she works at all. But I'm going to take some handling. Let's take some cunning. Let's take persuasion and some more cunning. Why not? Because I don't really know what any of that stuff does. She's going to have a new conversation. I don't know if we can speed that along. I think after a day it just happens. But let's come out of there for now. So we've got the rooms going. I think we just press play and it should just stop when we had this conversation happens. Should you really be back on your feet, Boring? Evening, Blur. You're up late. We've all been stewing here. It's been a nervous wait for you to recover. But look, let me get you back to bed. I'm 12 days out of cyber surgery and riding a wave of pain medis. I'm not going anywhere. I'm fine. I'm just standing here thinking. Like the thing in your spine is thinking? I'm the only one thinking, Blur. My new spinal is a lot of things. A quantum crypt, a tactical computer, a quantum countermeasures broadcaster, but it is not some AI floating around in my skull. Sorry, I know. But yeah, I'm thinking with it. I'll find some time to talk to the others tomorrow. I know I need to calm some frayed nerves. This quantum rider changes nothing and everything. We all swallowed a big bottle of risk on this one, but it's going to pay off. We'll come up aces, I know it. But if you're going to be a stubborn forklift and refuse to go back to bed, we can at least talk shop. What's our next play? I think we can do all of these. So Ultratech dropped a response team on the clinic. Right on the roof, nearly on our heads, and another team came through the lobby. So, someone snitched us, but late. Otherwise they would have just been waiting for us. It could have been someone on the surgical team. I can't square how it could be someone on our team and we'd still be alive. Nah, this isn't one of our own. I sent Fig to figure it out, quietly. Good moves. We can trust Fig with this one. She knows this kind of work is done far from the safe house. Have we heard anything from Octane? I'm sure she's eager to hear how things went. So remember, Octane is the financier that we're in debt to, 2 million credits. Octane called twice while you were under, but the team had agreed to go dark, so I let it beep. Honestly, I didn't want to talk to Octane until she could see you're up and in fighting shape. Well, she can wait a little longer then. I don't know, not much longer, Boring. You're a big investment, you know. So we can call her by clicking the timeline event or wait for her to call by pressing play. Okay. We need a bankroll. We need to test these new teeth on a heist. When Octane offered us the loan, we knew we'd need hot cash shortly after the operation. We've been saving the forward op just for this purpose. Whisper found this one and scoped the facility out. It's a site where McKellen Heavy Industries is dismantling a major operating base in Ward 7 to move it to the new construction site for Ward 11. It's not perfect. We will have to hit the base before they're siphoned off all the valuables. McKellen security is still going to be present, but they're not going to be on high alert. But we can dump the files, blueprints and cubes straight to the black market for United Digitals. Maybe enough to cover most of our first loan payment. And we need those credits. Octane's repayment schedule is very steep. So we've got a new op we can plan for now. Octane doesn't want to talk to us. She wants to hear about her money. Maybe, but we have a full 2 weeks before we owe her a payment, so there must be a reason for the cause. Everyone has another agenda, eh? Here in New Boston, yes, they do. Alright, alright. Let's contact her and figure out what she has in mind. Maybe we can learn something to boot.
Enough boring. I don't care what you say. You're going back to bed.
Ah, if you insist. I'll want to be looking fresh to talk to Octane tomorrow anyway. Alright. Let's take a quick look at the mission stuff now. Now we have 22 days left to complete this mission. If I click on it... Oh no, I have to... Oh, let's enter mission planning. There we go. So we prep 4 mercs to deploy. I think I'd only have 3 because one's out on legwork. But we've got the mission brief. This is where you can kind of add the like the favors and stuff. Which we might do. I'm not going to spend 40k on that though. I think instead, what I'm going to do, let's come out. I'd like to go into the market actually. Maybe we can look at getting a better weapon. Now, I've got 44 grand. So you can see there's things that are level 2. I'm just trying to see if there's anything like a level 2 that might be good for us to buy. I think they're all going to be a little bit on the expensive side. Don't have anything else I can sell. We do have mods as well. We can add to certain weapons. To be honest, I think I might just save the cash at this stage because there isn't really anything that's kind of like standing out to me. You see what's actually in our inventory now. So we got this shock mine. I think that's one of the things we found on the thing. We've got a submachine gun and a pistol. Okay. Let's leave that. We got 22 days till we have to do that mission. I think let's leave that for now. So I don't... Now this new conversation thing, can I... How do I have that? Do I press space? Oh, here we go.
I'll admit it, I thought we were cooked before we even got started. Gunned down on the rooftop by some Ultratech goons before Boring even got his wires. We're lucky to have Fig watching over us.
We've got to be able to lean on each other. I'm glad you know Fig has all of our backs.
Maybe you'll give her a little less spat next time she has a good idea too.
Take that into consideration.
So positive relationships such as respects, such as Whisper has for Fig, create a bond between characters and contacts. The benefits of hype, which I don't really know what that is yet. The negatives of stress. Stress is something that's a bit like Darkest Dungeon, I think. I think it's something that builds up organically, just through missions. But I think, you know, getting hurt, negative things that happen to you, I think adds more stress. And I think if you get too much stress, I think it can add negative traits. And the effects of story decisions all flow through relationships from one character to another. Okay. In addition, deploying characters in positive relationships on jobs together can also increase hype, reduce stress, yield positive trait changes, and even increase XP gains. So that's nice. So we'll send... In the next mission, we get to send 4 people out. So we'll make sure we send Fig and Whisper. But I think that's probably a good place to leave it for now. When we come back next time, we'll sort of advance the timeline a little bit. We'll get into another mission. Whether that's this forward op, I don't know, but I'm kind of waiting for Fig to come back. So they should be back in just over a day. So I think maybe we'll do that and then go out and do this op. Even though we've got 22 days in which to do it, we can do it whenever we want within that time. I know that once we speak to Octane, we kind of get a story mission that has to be done within the space of a week. That's the one I have played, which is quite a big mission. But I'm thinking maybe this pending heist, this forward up we get, I'm wondering if this is maybe a bit more of a sort of a smaller mission that maybe we can get a bit more cash and stuff from, which would be quite useful because we're a bit poor at the moment. But yeah, we'll leave it there for now. So thanks to everyone who volunteered themselves to come in and be a squad member for the Boring Dad Gaming Heist crew. Hope you've enjoyed. I hope everyone's enjoyed this video who's watched it. If you have, if you can hit that like button, that'd be fantastic. Do leave a comment as well, whether you're taking part in the campaign or just watching others. Let me know your thoughts on the game, on the campaign. Now I'm still learning this game. There's still so much of it I don't really fully understand. So my way of saying, I'm going to be making mistakes. If you have any, if it's something you have played more extensively, if you have any tips and stuff, I'd happily receive those as well. But don't be too hard on me if I'm making mistakes in the missions, because I am feeling my way through a lot of the sort of various systems and stuff that are very new to me still. But hopefully I'll get a bit better as we go. But with that said, if you're watching this and haven't yet subscribed to the channel, if you could do that, that'd be fantastic. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.